What I find interesting is there's a lot written about actors, about how they get into, how they become an actor. You know, you can read about it anywhere. But I think it's quite, and I have I particularly have a niece who's getting into directing, and she's asked me about how she gets into directing. And I think I actually don't know what to say to her because it seems really impossible.
To be honest, I started a company when I left college. I had a job initially. I got a job as a runner on a TV programme, but I hated it. Anyway, I decided to start a theatre company because I thought there was a sensible bit of me that when I'm only 22, I've got nothing to lose. Why don't I do the thing that I really want to do? And if it doesn't work, I can do something else. And actually, I'm really glad I had that sensible bit of my brain because I really believe that the worst thing in life is having regrets. And those come from not doing something. They very rarely come from doing something.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
So I did know that. But I honestly did not... I had super confidence on one level and no confidence on the other because I never imagined anyone would pay me. What? How? Why would I be paid? On what basis? So I didn't even write to people to ask for a job. I didn't even know that there were sort of things like trainee, sort of assistant directing things. Anyway, I started a company and I did that for 2 years and I sort of got good at raising money, but I didn't really know the first thing about directing. I mean, I was just winging it. And then eventually, the roads coalesced and I ended up at the RSC
we were back
as an
together.
assistant when you were there. We sort of came back together.
Came back together. I was...
And actually, that was a great time for me.
Spear carrying, and you were sort of...
I was an assistant director.
Yeah, which is the...
Yeah, I was an assistant director, but I learned so much. And because I've been running a company and paying people and doing VAT returns and all that sort of stuff, it's such a responsibility to be paid, to be in Stratford-on-Avon and go to Peter Hall's rehearsals every day and watch these incredible actors. There was a lot of moaning going on, I seem to remember in that year. I was just, I can't believe it. I was...
It was amazing.
Euphoric. And I did learn a huge amount that year.
And you were given quite a lot of responsibility, I remember.
I ended up having a lot of responsibility, yeah. Because I stayed. You left. You went off. You were too zhuzhy to stay. I stayed and went to London and did 2 years, basically. Did 2 years. But the first year, when I got the job, I literally remember jumping up and down around. I was staying at my dad's. I was working as a security guard at night. It was the worst job ever. Basically, what happened was a company that made loads of their staff redundant, and they threatened to come back and burn the place down, and I was the security guard, me.
Definitely secure in your hands.
Really intimidating, should they come around with torches. Anyway, so it was I had to give up my flat. I was staying with my dad. It was, like, not a good time in my life. And then I got an interview for the RSC, and I worked my arse off for the interview. I tell you, I was so prepared. I got 2 interviews, I got the job. And the day I got the job, I literally was jumping around the room because it was the first time anyone in the sort of official theatre or anything official had gone, we're choosing you. I couldn't believe it because everything I'd done before that, I'd sort of generated myself. And for a director starting now, there is no path. Every director you speak to has a different journey. Sometimes they get opportunities very young, sometimes they have to wait. But I think what you said is such a great sort of thing to do, which is just be excellent, try and get better at what you do. I think that's when I look back at my time, I think the opportunities I didn't have back then, which were very frustrating to me, sort of after that period when I left the RSC, I was so frustrated I had to go be painting and decorating, doing all sorts of other things. I couldn't make a living. It was really hard. But when I think about it, I read and I thought, and I got better.
Yeah.
I did do bits and pieces, but I got better.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important because you can always improve.